So what do you do when a day goes bad? So I am driving along right now, and I'm just going to share with you as we drive, just like I'm talking to a friend, when you have a series of things that start to become disappointing and frustrating and stressful, if you're not really careful, it can start a chain reaction of negativity in your life. So I want to ask you, what is it like in your world when you get one piece of bad news, and then a next piece of bad news, and then another piece of bad news? What happens to your energetic state? What starts to happen in your thought patterns? What starts to happen in your emotions? What starts to happen in your body chemistry as you start to literally create that fight or flight, wreaking havoc, chemical soup reaction in your body? What starts to happen to your pulse? What starts to happen to your skin? What starts to happen to your veins as you start to constrict and you start to literally internalize and physically grow exponentially that amount of stress? You know what it feels like, don't you? So what's going to happen if you allow that to continue? Well, it is going to become a snowball effect in your day, in your week, in your world, and all of that emotional management that you are working to do is going to fly right out the window. So what can you do instead? We can start training ourselves to be our own state master, to master our own state. And we can be mindful, we can start to set reminders for ourselves that a champion manages his own state. So yes, all of these things are going to happen, and what am I going to do about it? There are a few things that could be happening here. Either, number one, we've been really working on ourselves and we are ready to go to a new level, and sometimes before we can go to that new level, before our dreams and visions will start to manifest and elevate us to that higher level, it feels like our entire world has to fall apart. And what happens is where we're holding does have to completely die. It has to completely disintegrate before our lives can reorganize at a higher level. And I can't tell you the number of times in retrospect that I have seen that happening in my own life. But it doesn't make it easy or comfortable while you're in the middle of it. But it does mean that if you're kicking and screaming and fighting and resisting that flow, and if you're resisting that process of nature that's going to be required for you to go to the next level, it just quite honestly means you're never going to make it to the next level. If you're someone that really rides that emotional roller coaster a lot, where you've got high highs and low lows and everything knocks you off center very easily, and then you have to have a day-long pity party, or you become a drama mama, or you've got to talk to anyone and everyone about it and get everyone's 2 cents and retell the story 5,000 times, and you've got to vent on Facebook, or you've got to vent to your friends or vent to whoever and say, oh, I just thank you so much, and in some form or fashion you're continuing to grow that negative energy, what's going to happen to you? How long does it take you to get back into your A game? How long does it take you to get back in center? A long time. And how much time did you lose by playing that pity party game? Remember, to become a champion, it's all about consistency over time. Now, I'm not saying that those things aren't going to affect you. I'm not saying that you become a machine and that you're not human and you don't experience negative emotions, or that you don't experience negativity when those things happen. When you start to create that chemical reaction within your body, it can literally take you anywhere from a couple hours up to half a day for that chemical soup to calm back down. But guess what? Stress is all about perspective. My perception of stress can determine whether or not I get off that roller coaster, or whether I take off with it and let that thing throw me for several loops. Okay, so how would you like to become a master of your own state? How would you like to become a champion of your own emotions? How would you like to own your emotional reactivity as opposed to your emotions owning you? The other thing that could very well be at play is not necessarily about taking you to a higher level in that moment, but it could be God using this opportunity for your treadmill of life, or for your bench press of life, that this is your exercise that allows you to get better, that allows you to become stronger and to literally up your game so that you can be prepared and that you can be worthy and you can be experienced enough that you can receive all those amazing things that God wants for your life. If you're the backup to the backup to the backup to the quarterback, you're not going to be put onto the field until you have upped your game and you have gotten better, or else everybody ahead of you has been so dead and so tortured or so hurt that they're left with nobody else but you. So usually what it means is when we're going through this type of stress and this type of chaos and this sort of like our life is falling apart, it is the world's way, it is nature's way, it is God's way of saying it's time for you to get better. And by you learning to handle these things, these setbacks, these challenges like a pro, this is where you are becoming better. You are raising the bar on your skills, on your aptitude, on your threshold for stress tolerance. And as you are able to handle these instead of exploding, and you can handle them with grace, and you can handle them with poise, and you can handle them with class and skill, then you have proved yourself worthy of the raise, of the promotion, of the next level. And I'm not necessarily talking about a raise and a promotion from your boss, but I'm talking about a raise and a promotion in life. So the next time that these things are happening to you, take a moment, take a breath, walk outside, get some fresh air, and tell yourself, being overwhelmed is a choice. Reacting is a choice. Letting my body take over with chemical soup is a choice. And rather than going down that path, I am choosing to become better, to become stronger, to embrace this discomfort so that I can allow myself to be prepared for the promotion that life is ready to give me. And P.S., last thing, you rarely are ever aware of those things in the moment. It's usually only in retrospect that we're able to see those things. But what we have to be able to do in the moment is to be able to manage our emotions, manage our energetic state, manage our vibrational frequency so that we don't get swept away by the storm, so that we can stand strong and we can be present and we can deal with the situation with our head on straight, without the chemical soup raging within our body. We can use discernment and discretion to make the right decisions. And then afterwards, we can take a breath and we can go, whoa. And then we can dissect it and we can look back and learn from the lesson. Love you guys.